Good morning, DFW. I am Anthony Cernelia with Ask the Experts radio show, where we interview local professionals. Today, Roger Wakefield of the Expert Plumber from Texas Green Plumbing. He has Diane Villarreal and with him as his guest. If you want to get a hold of Roger, you can call him at 972-442-4101. That's at texasgreenplumbing.com. Or Diane, you can reach her at AACES. That's a-aces.com. And I believe her phone number is 214-221-3331. And hello, Roger. Hello, Diane. How are we doing today?
Morning. Doing great. Thank you.
Anthony, it's wonderful. How are you, sir?
Oh, you know, I'm kicking like a chicken. I'm hanging in there. It's a beautiful day out there in DFW.
Yes, it is.
I guess let's start off, you are a regular on our show, but if you don't mind, tell our listeners a little bit about Texas Green Plumbing.
Texas Green Plumbing is a full-service plumbing company located in the Richardson area. And I'm going to actually elaborate on something today that normally I don't, but we are a truly licensed plumbing company. And I know that sounds funny that I would start off that way, but there's a lot going on in Austin and the state of Texas with the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners, and that's actually why I wanted to bring in, Diane today. And, the cool thing is, Anthony, I want to go back a couple of months ago when I was here was Texas OU Day and Texas won.
Oh, yeah.
And, we're here again, so let's just do it again.
Hey, let's do a repeat, man.
I love it. I love it. But back to plumbing. And the reason this is a big deal to me is I believe I'm one of these plumbers. I take pride in my industry and the work I do. And I met Diane several years ago. Diane was the chief plumbing inspector in the city of Dallas. And Diane was good because Diane made sure you did things right. Mm-hmm. And me as a plumber that takes pride in my work, I love that. And so whenever I started hearing of what all was going on with the Sunset Advisory Commission, I wanted to reach out to somebody and get somebody else in here that actually probably knows a little bit more about this than me. And Diane came up, and I got in touch with her. And Diane at first says, I don't know if I can do it because I'm really, really passionate about this. And I said, look, I understand, but Diane, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you very much. I am honored to be here.
Well, let's jump right into it. So what is going on in the plumbing industry in Texas right now?
We are under attack.
And I feel that way too, and especially since I have such a social media presence. Who all are we under attack from?
I wish we could identify the source, but if anyone is out there has not read staff's report from the Sunset Advisory Commission, you will not get very far into this report that you will not recognize that we are in the fight of our life. This report is flawed, misleading, is written for the purpose of closing our board and moving it to the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. It not only attacks our agency, it attacks our profession and our industry.
So the report's put out by the Sunset Advisory Commission. What exactly is the Sunset Advisory Commission?
The Sunset Advisory Commission is an agency of itself that is responsible for going in and auditing the other agencies of the state, basically upon the merits of their duties, their functions. Is it necessary? Can we help them? Can we put some legislation together? Can we give them some money? Can we help fund them? Do we need them? Do we dissolve it and drop it in a super agency and for there to ever be lost? That's what their primary function is, to go in with an objective view of an agency. That objective view never happened for the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners.
When was the last time that the Sunset Advisory Commission looked into the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners? Was it 12 years ago or 6 years ago?
There was a review in 1999, and there was also a follow-up in 2002. Both the TDLR and the Plumbing Board were looked at. There were some discrepancies for the TDLR that happened at that time. Back in '99, there were some issues that were to be taken care of, and some of those were taken care of. Our main problem that we have right now is our agency is being viewed as being negligent in their duties based upon recent natural disasters, the hurricane, the flooding, the massive growth that our state has had in our plumbing industry. And the report basically says that our agency has done us wrong.
I look at it, and I've been looking at this a long time. Luckily, I used to be a continuing education provider, which AACES is, and that's what Diane is very involved with. And I've known about this for a while, and I look at things and I ask questions, and I have people call me. I literally get messages through social media all the time. But one of the things that I get calls on, and people are saying, Roger, the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners isn't even replacing the people that are leaving. So how can we expect them to do a good job? But the truth is, they're on a freeze frame, or a freeze hiring, that they will not let them hire to replace these people that leave, correct?
Correct.
And I'm sorry, but if I have, and I'm trying to remember how many enforcement officials there are in the state of Texas, it's about a dozen. But if I have 3 or 4 of those quit and I can't replace them, how can I do as good a job?
When you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I know every business owner knows what I'm saying, when you're not allowed to use your profits to reinvest into your plumbing company, how long will you last?
It's not going to be very long. Now, let's go back, because I do want to talk about the profits and the money bit, because I don't see it as profit, and I know you don't either, and I want to explain that to people. The Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners is a not-for-profit organization that they don't make money. They hire their employees, but they're making enough money that money's going back into the Texas General Fund to be used other places. But first, for everybody not talking, or for everybody not in our industry, and the reason I've told so many people on social media about this is I think this affects not just plumbers but homeowners. Let's go to the basics. What is the TSBPE? What is the Texas
State Board of Plumbing Examiners? It was initiated by the 50th legislation in 1947, and what it was meant to do was to bring the licensing at a state level, which would help the plumbing industry as far as not having to reciprocate between cities and cities. It was to help calm down that licensing process. So they brought it within the state. Our agency is there to help us build our industry, but build it within parameters. We want to be qualified, licensed plumbers.
Okay. And I agree with that, and I love that. So what is the TDLR?
The TDLR is a licensing and regulating super agency. And when I say super agency, if you will open up their website and look at all the licensing that they are in control of, you will not find an agency under that list that so directly affects the quality of life, the essentials of life, that the plumbing board regulates for us, our plumbing industry.
We say that the plumbing board regulates. They can't regulate everything, and we've got inspectors across the state. And like I said a while ago, I remember the first time you walked on a job, you're like, can I see your license? I'm like, ma'am, look, I'm running this job. You said, well, that's fine, I understand that, but may I see your license? And you had my respect from the very first minute. The bad thing I got to tell you is I've never had another inspector ask for my license. And I've been doing this 38 years. And I don't remember, when were you an inspector in Dallas?
From 94 to 2017.
Okay, 94 to 2017. And I was probably closer to meeting you in the 94 section, maybe a little bit later than that. but that's just a lot. It's a lot of jobs I've been on that nobody's ever asked for a license. So I've got a couple of more minutes here before we go to a break. And this is about plumbers and citizens. And we've got a big meeting coming up December the 12th down in Austin that we're going to talk about the Sunset Advisory Commission hearing. But if plumbers want to be heard, they need to go to this, don't they?
Yes. I would love to see plumbers outside the Capitol building lined up from the Senate Finance room, up the elevators, out the front door, wrapped around the Capitol. That would do nothing more than make my heart just happy. We need you. We need you to be there December the 12th.
And it's December the 12th. You have to be there early to register. And I say early. You've got to be there. You have to register that morning. And I've got the schedule with me. They're going to talk about the Texas State Board of Plumbing examiners last thing in the afternoon. But they talk about a lot of things. So to me, I'm looking forward to the day to get down there and actually see how the hearing is done, how it's gone through, and things like that. I'm looking forward to it. But it's not just plumbers that need to be there, guys. It's homeowners. This, as Diane said, plumbers do affect the health of the nation. And we'll talk about it more in a little bit and get into it about what they do and how they do it. But it really is a big deal. And it's not just for plumbers, guys. This is literally the health of your family and things like that in Texas. I think that we're going to take a break here in just a second. What I want y'all to think about is if y'all got questions and you'd like to talk to Diane or myself, or if you've got comments you'd like to bring up or talk about, we've got a lot of things to talk about in a short time to do it, but we'd love to hear from people. So,
yeah, they can. I can go ahead and give the phone number out there if you want me to, Roger.
Yeah, that'd be great, Anthony.
All right. It's going to be 214-787-1190 or 817-787-1190. If y'all want to talk and speak with Roger or Diane about this subject, it seems to be a very serious subject by the looks on their faces, and I've never really seen this much of a serious subject, if you will, in here. But it is serious. If you want to get a hold of Roger on the outside, it's 972-442-4101. That's at texasgreenplumbing.com. Or Diane Villarreal, that's of A of Aces. That's 214-221-3331. We're going to take a short break, but we will be right back after these messages with Ask the Experts and Roger Wakefield.